Hey, yo, what's up, man? This is your man, Mr.Rick. So listen, just tapping in early. I know it's early, man. It's probably about, I don't know, probably 6 o'clock in the morning. And uh, anyway, probably 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting out here in my garage in a truck. Um, and just thinking, man, everything is okay. Just thinking. And I'm really just thinking about like growth and also leadership. A lot of times as leaders, one of the things we don't, I ain't gonna say we don't, well, some people, I'll just say this, because not me, I done got past that stage because I understand it now. But along my journey of becoming who God has and is still creating me to be, it puts you in a place of isolation. And one thing about us, we don't want to be by ourselves for some reason. I don't know why. We don't want to be by ourselves. And then when we are by ourselves, a lot of time we're complaining. And what God is doing, He actually has us by ourselves so that He can pour His self into us even more. But we want to be with people. We want people to understand. We just want people to get it. We want people to be on our team. We want, you know what I'm saying? This is what we want. The reason why, because this is what we're used to. And when you're born, but if you look at it, when you're born in this world, you're born alone. When you die alone. But somewhere in the middle, we feel like we have to be with somebody all the time, and that's not how it was created, right? God put you here, and God takes you away from here, right? And so if God can do that, it's okay to be alone. But when we're in our alone time, we're really not alone. We're with Him. But we struggle in that area because we've been used to society. Because you got to think, you came from God. And preferably you go back to Him, right? But when we get here, we just get so caught up on the world things and the world view. And I ain't tripping, I promise you. Family and friends and all this stuff, which is good. We need that too. But the scripture tell you to be not to be of the world, right? You're in the world, but don't be of the world. So you can be in something and not what you can be in something and not be what you're in. I like that, right? You can be in something and not be what you're in. God has you in that so that you can be seen in that, not become that. Y'all follow me with that, right? And so if you're going to be in the world and not of the world, you should be in the world but not the world. We get caught up on those things. So listen, man, being by yourself is important. And when you're by yourself, just hear God. Sometimes God is just talking loud, but it seems so quiet because you're used to the chatter. And sometimes God just wants you to sit and be still, think, hear, ask questions. We was in a funeral yesterday, man, and it's okay to question God. My pastor said, he said, man, it's okay to wrestle with God, right? Because if you don't wrestle with God, who else you going to wrestle with, right? Because you're in the world and not of the world, and you don't connect with the world anymore. And so who you going to talk to about that? Because you can't talk to the world. They don't have anything to say to you. And I'll help you, man. It's not that they're hating on you. That's some world foolishness, right? You're not in the world, so there's no hate, right? They may not understand what you're doing or where you are, and you got to understand that. It's not people hating on you or don't nobody like you and all this stuff. No. Listen, man, if you're in the world and you're not of the world has a different way of responding to what they see. You don't understand what they see, so you shouldn't respond to what they say. I like this, right? But we don't do that. So God is steady trying to build you. God is steady trying to have you sitting in the garage by yourself in a truck, right? It seems weird to some people, but there's so much peace. Watch this. There's no judgment here. There's no judgment here. There's no hate here, right? There's no side conversation here. There's no envy here. There's no flexing here, right? Those are the places that we need to be in, right? But we're so caught up want to be everywhere else You can't control the atmosphere. God can't control the atmosphere. Well, he could if he chose to, but you're not supposed to be in it. So be okay being alone, man. Right? Deal with you. Right? And then watch this. God is going to send people in to help you at that time. God's going to send people in to understand you at that time. God's going to send people to walk with you in that time. But right now, God needs you for himself. So leadership is very lonely, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not lonely. I'm by myself. No. God, and the reason it seems like it's so lonely is because God has things to download in you for somebody. Man, you're walking on this earth to help people. When you go places, God give you things for people, so you got to spend some time with him. And it seems like you're alone, but you're never alone, because he said, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I will be with you always, even to the end of the world, even to the end of the earth. So from the beginning of time, I was with you, and I'm going to be with you at the end of time. But what I need you to do is be with me. Right? Tap out of all this stuff, this world system. Tap out of how stuff goes, right? Stuff you don't understand. Get you some help. First of all, man, I want to say this. One of the best things that I've ever done was start listening to the right people. I stopped listening to the wrong fool because it just wasn't making sense to me. But I started putting myself in situations and listening to the right folk, getting mentored on what I wanted to do, getting coached on what I wanted to do, submitting myself on the proper leadership, right? And leading from that aspect. That's what you need. That's what I know works. But if no one can tell you anything, and if you can't submit yourself to nobody, your growth is limited to what you believe. And what you believe gonna change in a moment, right? I'm telling you now, cause I mean it's, bro. If you look at the Bible, it's a living word. You ever read something one year and went back the next year, same different word, totally different meaning, based off where you were in life? It's alive, right? But we think, I'm not getting on that. We think, well, the Bible is, no. The Bible is a living word. That's why you need coaches and mentors. That's why you need to upgrade on your theology. Not saying change your theology. You need to upgrade on your theology, right? So at the end of the day, I'm called to people, right? I know that. I'm called to people. A real diverse audience, people. That's what I'm called to. Not your set people. Not black people, not white people, not Asian people, not Hispanic people. People, right? Now, if you're called to one person, one people, then fine. I'm called to all people. I'm called to I'm called to the generation. I'm called to the nation. I know this. So what do I have to do? First, I got to spend time with God and say, God, what in the world do I need to do in order to be successful in what you call me to, which is people, right? First, I got to go to God. Secondly, I got to submit myself to people, bruh, right? I got to submit myself to people that's in leadership, that's empowered, right? So that I can learn people. There's no way I can be called to the nations and then I ain't never been out of Georgia, right? So I got to fly. I got to go to these places. I got to submit to these leaders, even if I don't understand what they're saying, because they're pouring into me. Brother, the reason we don't grow is because they don't want to listen to nobody. But you say you call. Call to who? Call to you, right? You're going to continue to doing stuff, and I feel like I'm fussing. You're going to continue to doing stuff your way, and you wonder why you're not growing, and you're mad. And watch this. You're mad because you see other people growing. Watch this. Check this out, because I'm not throwing no shade. You're mad because you're seeing other people growing, but the reason that you're mad is because you know that there's more in you. But you hadn't done the work. The work is submitting yourself to somebody so they can help you. Like what you know. And what you had got you to where you are. But there's a different level that God is trying to take you on, and you refuse to go because of what you knew worked. Man, help me, right? What you knew, watch this, man. God dealt with me the other day. God dealt with me the other day. I did a video, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I had never said that I was a great speaker because I don't. That's not what I do it for. But I did an event. It's on YouTube. Y'all ought to check it out. The Black History Program. They asked me to speak at the Black History. And this is a testimony point. They asked me to speak at a Black History program. We went. It was amazing, man. I found it. One of my homegirls, I call her my homegirl. She was born in 1945, but that's my homegirl. And listen to what I just said. She was born in 1945, but she's my homegirl. Everybody missed it. I just got through talking about proper leadership. Watch this. She was born in 1945, but that's my homegirl. I visit her once or twice a week. I call her probably every day. We just talk. She was born in 1945, right? Submitting yourself. Now, she's not a preacher. She's not an evangelist. She's not called to the fivefold ministry. She's just a mother. But anyway, so they asked me to speak. I spoke. Took her with me. First Black. She was the first Black. She is the first still, because she's not dead. She's the first Black secretary at the University of West Georgia. When she met me, because she still drives. She met me. We did the event. I did the event about her. It's all documented. So I went back and looked at the video. Here's the point I want y'all to really tune in on. I went back and listened to the video, and I was like, man, I said, man, I did good. I said, I'm proud of myself. I said, that was the first time ever, and this was, last month. First time ever that I have said I did good for speaking, right? As soon as I said that, I was talking to one of my directors, and we was talking about speaking or whatever, and he was like, Rick, that's the least of what you're called to do. And I was like, man, here we go. And God, he hit me with, on every different level, there's an exchange that has to happen, right? And so what I'm saying is, what God gave you to get you to where you are, it worked. And it got you to where he wanted you to be. But in order to go where he wants you to go now, you got to give that back to him. And if you're not willing to give that back to him, you're not willing to grow, right? I had just said, I said, man, I did good. And not being boastful, I was just like, man, that's amazing. Because I see the work of God, bro. You got to think, I didn't have a full conversation to the 5th grade, bro, right? I took speech classes, right? So I ain't that I'm being boastful. I didn't talk to the 5th grade. Imagine that. Everybody else talking in school, then that would throw me into special education and all that because I couldn't talk, comprehend, right? So I was excited. Still am. You better look at God. You're looking at one. You're not looking at a God. You're looking at a miracle. You're looking at what God done. Let me fix that. But anyway, when I said that, I was like, man, and God said on every different level that I take you to, there's an exchange that had to happen. You got to be willing to give me everything that I gave you. And when you do that, you're going to feel like you don't have anything. You have everything, you just don't have nothing for that level. So, man, that's what we got to do. We got to submit ourselves, bro. We got to listen to folks. But God's not going to just give it to you by yourself. Can't do it. He ain't going to do it, right? He's going to give you what you need, and he's going to give something to somebody else. And then he needs us to join together and work. Every joint supplies strength, right? It's going to take a people. It's going to take a body. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, if you're drowning, right? There was an old story. They said if you're drowning, the dude came with a boat, he came with a plane, he came with all this stuff or whatever. And dude said he was waiting on God. And when he died and got to heaven, and he asked God, why you didn't come and get me? Why it took you so long? He told him, I sent you a boat, I sent you a plane, I sent you all of this stuff, and you were talking about you were waiting on me. Man, you better get the help, bro. I promise you. I promise you. God is the supplier. Right? God is definitely the supplier, but he had runners on the ground to deliver the packages. I'm going to post that. I like that. God's going to supply everything you need, but he got some runners that going to drop it off at the door. God's not dropping stuff at your door. He gonna send somebody. Don't keep thinking you don't need nobody. And that ain't for nobody. That's just something, that actually, that hit me this morning. It was pretty smooth. I thought it was pretty smooth, so I went and drop it in. Yeah. But listen, man, I'm just out here in the truck, in the garage, drinking my tea, about to really go back upstairs and shower and get ready for church. But yeah, I really wanted to just jump on, because these are the moments that you don't see. Usually, especially for a speaker, the lights are always right, we're in the right setting and all that stuff. But man, listen, there's a lot of stuff that happen in dark places. There's a lot of stuff that happen alone. And I'll tell you, man, don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid to be alone. In that alone time, God's going to expose you. And sometimes He ain't really exposing the old you. He's introducing you to the new you, right? So God is really introducing you to your. We got a better light there. I should have did this an hour ago. God is usually not too bad. God is usually introducing you to yourself, who He created you to be. But it's hard to be who He created you to be when you don't want to let go of who you used to be. So sometimes you got to say bye-bye old me, right? And hello to who you created me to be. I promise you, man, I got so much stuff that I could talk about. I've been through a lot. God has allowed me to go through a lot. Cause I ain't went through nothing on my own. God allowed me to go through a lot, man. And I'm thankful, that I could be here speaking to you. I pray this help you. I really, really pray it helps you. I do. Because that's all I want to do. I just want to help people, man. And God reward those that diligently seek Him, spend time with Him. But yeah, man, I just deeply love people, man. Like for real. So, even with heavy hearts, man, we still have to give it to God, man. There's funeral after funeral after funeral right now. Two of my classmates, man, both of them lost their son. It's crazy, man. So, but at the end of the day, you have to, going through that stuff, you have to get to God so that He can give you what to give people. Because somebody's called to people. I'm called to people. So that's my service. That's my life. That's who I am. So listen, man, I love y'all. God bless you. I think I'm about to upload this on YouTube and then I'm going to share it out. If you feel it's going to help somebody, man, share it. I guess it'll be called, I don't know, moment by myself or something. I'll figure something out. All right, listen, man, it's your man, Mr. Rick. Love God, love yourself, love people. Go to somebody's church. Right, go to somebody's church, right? Don't misinterpret what Ty Tribbett said. Get your behind up and go to church. All right, man, love y'all. Y'all take care.